Hi guys, welcome. My name is Melissa. How are y'all doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Melissa and I talk about missing children on my channel. I know that I have not uploaded in months. I have been going through a lot. If y'all notice, there's a different background. It's just a lot of things have been happening in my life. And it's just, I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to take the out of what I actually do in this channel. But I moved not because I wanted to. It was not a choice that I had, so I did move. I'm hoping not to be in where I'm at now. In the long run, I'm hoping to be in my own place real soon. I'm praying to God that I can find a nice place, whether it's an apartment or a home. That is my dream for me and my daughter. She started school today. She's a second grader. I have a second grader. We celebrate her birthday on July 30th. So I have a now I have a 7-year-old. So that is why I have not been uploaded. I have missed every single one of y'all guys. But don't worry, I had to redo my list of all the missing kids, and I have a lot. I have a lot of missing kids that I'm going to be talking about from different states. It's a lot, but I cannot wait to upload and hopefully stay consistent. I don't want to say that I will, especially because I'm in the situation I am right now. Yeah, I have a roof over my head, but I feel like I'm homeless because of the situation that I am at and because of the place where I'm at. And my mental health being in this place is not a good thing for me. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. If y'all go ahead and subscribe, hit this video like, and turn up your notifications so y'all can know when I upload. Also, I have a goal to have this channel hit 100 before the end of the year. I know you're like, Melissa, you don't have a bigger goal, bigger number. No, I want to start small, and 100 subscriber by the end of the year would make me so happy and so excited. So let's go ahead and get started on this video today. So today we're going to be talking about Alfred Beilhartz. Y'all know me. If y'all been here, y'all know me. So let's go ahead and get started. So Alfred Edwin Beilhartz was a young boy who vanished in 1938 at the Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado. So we're going to be talking about his disappearance and search. Alfred was went on vacation with his family, in the course of which they all went to East Park to fish. While hitchhiking with his parents on a trail that ran along a creek, Alfred fell behind and vanished. Once the family could not locate it, Alfred, after conducting a search, they called in the park rangers, who believed he may have drowned in the creek, demanded and dragged the creek up for his body, but found nothing. Search were called in, but again his proof fetterless, and the search was called after 10 days. Hitchhikers in different part of the park claimed that they saw a small boy in an elevation called Delis Net on marked Champion while walking along Old Fall Road. According to the sightings, the boy sat on the edge of the elevation for several minutes before being jacked back by someone off to the side. The identity of this person has never been established. The hikers contact park officials, who sent climbers to search the cliff top, but they found nothing. The search party included 150 men and members of the Silver Conversation cruise. Sometime later, Alfred was supposedly sighted walking along a road with the men in Nebraska. So the bandage found in the abandoned cabin was tested, since the child had a similar one when he vanished, and ransom note of $500, equivalent to $10,000, in 2022 was sent to his parents after Alfred had been missing for 5 months. However, police determined it to be a hoax. Alfred's father believed the Alfred had been abducted but still alive. This one is kind of short. So these type of cases, they're so I'm gonna read a longer one because I want to, Okay, so on July 33rd of 1938, the Beilhartz family took advantage of the Independence Day weekend to go camping in Colorado Rocky Mountain National Park. Their 4-year-old son, Alfred Edwin, was to vanish the day, and to this day, no sign has turned up. There were several strange reports of Alfred, including on top of rocky insellable outcrop called Devil's Nest, near Mountain Champion, 6 miles from where he vanished. He was also reported in the company of a mysterious man on a road in the area. The family, together with the father of William Harvey, including 10 children, lived on 3225 Corbett Street in Denver, Colorado. The Umbles family, as well as some family friends, set up Camp Rowley a quarter-mile west of the Fall River Lodge. It was located just south of the west exit of the current Long Lake Trail parking lot. The camping party was located near where the Roding and River met, just below Horseshoes Falls. The family woke bright and early in the morning. William, Alfred's father, decided to walk to the nearly steam to wash up, and Alfred came along. Orrin Broston and Walter Hans, friends of the Walsh family, had also set up to freshen up. Rowley, 500 feet upstream from Alfred and William. William and Alfred finished their wash before Orrin and Walter, and William headed back to camp. Alfred walked upstream to follow Orrin and Walter once they were finished. Once Orrin and Walter returned to camp, the group noticed Alfred was not with them. He had gone missing between the time that William headed back to camp and when Orrin and Walter returned. And there is a picture of the family. I don't know if this is the picture of the 2 friends that were there, but there is a picture of the family and online if you do search for this case. Rocky Mountain National Park is an American national park located approximately 66 miles, 122 kilomile northwest of Denver International Airport in north central Colorado. With the front range of the Rocky Mountains, the park is situated between towns of State Park, the east, and Grand Lake to the west. The eastern and western slopes of the Continental Divide run directly through the center of the park, with their headwaters of the Colorado River located park's northeastern region. The Rocky Mountain National Park Act was signed by President Woodrow Wilson on January 26 of 1915, established the park boundaries and protecting the area for future generations. The hike to the Long Lake Rocky Mountain National Park begins from the Long Lake Trailhead in the Horseshoes Park area, located just west of East Park. From the start, the trail climbs steadily through a very dense mixed pine forest. At just over a mile from the trailhead, hikers they reach the steep banks of Roding River, where some of the distraction from the infamous Long Lake flood can be seen. In 1903, a 26-foot high earthen dome built the enchanted nature lake from 16.4 acres to 48 acres in order to help with the crop aeration in the Loveland area. On July 15th of 1982, the dam fell and released more than 3 million gallons of water down the Roding River valley. Some witnesses said the failure created a wall of water 25 to 30 feet high. After killing 3 campers, the water rushed down Anchor Avenue in East Park before stopping at the lake east. So this is the search. The campers began searching for Alfred immediately. There were over a dozen individuals at the campsite and were convinced that they would find him quickly. He couldn't have gotten far in such a short amount of time. Plus, it would be difficult for Alfred to not hear over a dozen people shouting his name and follow their voices back to safety. But after surveying the area and not finding Alfred, the family became very anxious to Alfred's whereabouts. When they had no luck, they decided to call in the Park Service assistant. The Beilhartz family contacted Ranger Moama Moana, I don't know. At the Fall River Ranger Station, Ranger immediately contacted Silver Conservation Crops, a work reveal program created as part of Russell New Deal to help the search effort. Within 45 minutes, over 100 CCC members had arrived to begin searching. On Monday, July 14th, Independence Day, CCC and other volunteers were still combing the area for many signs of Alfred, and bloodhounds from the Colorado State Prison were brought into the park to help aid the search, but they weren't able to find Alfred's scent. The Rangers were operating under the assumption that Alfred may have fallen into the nearly rodent river and drowned, so they decided to dam the river on July 5th. The search party built a dam with sandbags, rocks, and logs, and used crappy hooks and pikes to ensure the riverbed. Despite the efforts, nothing was found in the drifter riverbed, so they reacted a wire not near the Fall River in the hopes of caching any evidence. When this returned no result, they gave up searching the river. His parents told the Rangers they were certain that he must have been abducted. They knew that their son wouldn't just leave his family, and they were skeptical that they had just fallen into a water. By Wednesday, July 6th, the search for the river ended, leaving search frustrated and confused. They continued to search the land. By Thursday, 2000, searchers told News Report that they were convinced he had never drowned and either gotten lost in the forest or was kidnapped. The searchers were convinced that if the boy had fallen into the river, his body could not have passed all 5 of the braver dams and reached the Fall River. Even if it had, they said it could not have passed a wire not set up near the Fall River by workers for the Public Service Company of Colorado. Rangers calling some sniffer dogs from the near Colorado State Penitentiary. A human scent was detected, but the hounds came to half near the river. Another set of dogs hit on the scent somewhere higher evolution from the camp, but led nowhere. The search was eventually called off after 10 days. Let me remind you guys, he was at the river. So him and his dad had gone to freshen up at the river, and then his dad's friends went, but they were in another, like they were not that close to offering his dad. They were like a couple of feet away from him. When his dad was done, Offer decided to stay with his dad's friends. I don't want to, this is just my assumption, that I think his dad, he probably didn't tell his dad that he was going to stay with his friends, or he did tell his dad, hey, I'm going to stay here with them and then go back with them. Or his dad didn't tell his friends, hey, Offer's going to stay with y'all, can y'all make sure to look after him and bring him back with y'all. Probably there was no talk. They probably didn't have a conversation. That's just my opinion. On Sunday, July 3rd, Willie J. Hells, a radio appliance employee for Denver, and his wife were also hitchhiking on the Rocky Mountain National Park. They had made it quite far up the whole river road when they got tired and decided to stop for a rest. While resting at around 1 p.m., they decided to look up to the mountain chimp and were shocked to apparently see a young boy sat on a rock in a section of the mountainside known as the Devil's Nest. I have questions on why it is called the Devil's Nest, but that's another story. This was around 6 miles west of where Alfred Beilhartz had disappeared from. The child was said to have made a surly noise, walk out to look over the ledge, and then either left or was pulled from the ledge. They decided to hike the point where they saw him in order to make sure the child was safe, but when they reached the boulder, he was perched upon, finding nothing. The pair decided they had to alert someone about the child roaming around on the Devil's Net. The elves go back to their packed car and heard the news from missing boy in the radio. Upon returning home, the couple checked the newspaper and confirmed that the photograph of Alfred Beilhartz with it matched the child that had seen in the Devil's Nest. Permanently drove back to the park and contact rangers. However, the rangers were skeptical, believing it would have been impossible for Alfred to have made his way up to the slope to the Devil's Nest. They did eventually send a group of over 150 men to search. there, but they came up empty-handed. Maybe if y'all would have done it earlier, y'all probably would have found him. Y'all just don't like to believe people, do y'all? On the July 8th, the FBI announced that it was performing forensic tests on piece of soiled bandage that had been found in the abandoned cabinet in the park. Disclosure of this finding was promoted by the instance of the boys' parents that their son must have been abducted. Apparently, Alfred had a blister on his foot at the time he had vanished, and his mother had bandaged it using similar material. On the same day, a woman by the name of Miss C. Lynch, who lived in Big Spring, Nebraska, alleged saw Alfred and mystery men walking along the highway together as she and her husband were driving from Big Spring to Ogella. She didn't know until the next morning how important her sighting was when she was reading the newspaper and saw the photo of Alfred. She claimed the boy she saw at the highway was the same boy, and she was adamant it was him. She told her brother-in-law, W.B. Lynch, about her sightings, and he went to speak to the Denver detective surgeon by the name of Fred. 2 days later, on behalf of his sister-in-law, he said that she was positive the boy was the one whose picture she saw. On November 27th of 1938, when Alfred Bowles had been missing for 5 months, his father was sent a ransom note. The message said, "Sorry for your son. We went west of the money. The boy doesn't take us. We will return your son if you leave $500 in a can on 1 block from the house." Sorry, guys. From the house. In the note, we will return your son within 24 hours. However, by November 29, the police were fairly certain that this was a hoax, and the next day they issued a statement to confirm that they had investigated 2 possible suspects. They were not named and were apparently not formally charged. The line of quick ended for a reason unknown. So what happened to him? These are the theories that they have. Drowning in the river. The rotting in the Fall River were search phrase he was missing. Abducted. The family always believed that Alfred was taken. It was the ransom demand genia. If so, was deciding on the Devil's Net on Sunday, July 3rd by William J. Hills and his wife mistaken? Did they hear and see any animal instead of a boy? How could a 4-year-old hike thousands of feet only in a few hours? You don't know what kids would do to get somewhere. 4, foul play. Was the boy accidentally killed by the family and the evidence cover up? Was Alfred killed by an unknown predator? And that is the case of him. I do not believe he drowned. I really don't think he drowned. I think that, like I said, in my opinion, I think that conversation didn't happen. I don't think that the dad realized, you know how us as moms, as parents, I'm a mom, sometimes we walk and sometimes our kids are behind us, but we tend to not realize that our kids are behind us, and we're just like automatically like, oh, then we look. I think it may have happened like that. It may have happened that his dad thought in his mind that his son was following him. Like that's what kids do. They follow adults. They follow their parents. And when you're in a mall or anywhere you are, your kids follow you because that's the instinct that they have. They have to follow you. And I think that's what happened. Maybe his dad thought that, hey, he's behind me, so we're just gonna keep walking. Maybe, and when they got to wherever his dad's friends were, he probably decided to stay with his friends. His friends probably didn't know that Alfred was right there with them, and they probably just turned around and left thinking that Alfred was already with his dad. It's just so many things that could have happened that day. Or Alfred didn't tell his dad that he wanted to stay, and his dad, like I said, his dad probably thought that he was still there and didn't realize he was not there until he got to the camp, it just, certain things probably couldn't have not happened. I don't think he drowned. I do believe that those 2 couples did see him, and I think he made it, whether it was by himself or whether it was somebody else. he made it to the to that top of the hill. But if it was him and if he was with somebody else, why would you stay there? You stole the child. Why would you stay in the area knowing that people are gonna go look for the child? Like, that to me does not make sense. That's where I'm like kind of iffy on this story, on that theory, because like I said, when somebody steals a child, they will take that child and run, because they know if they stay in the area, they're gonna get caught. So probably does not make any sense. But I could still see where the couple it was probably him, and whoever took him was probably trying to wait for people to stop searching. They probably hid. Well, I mean, I don't know. Or it would have been that the person that took him was hiding somewhere else and was waiting for the people to leave and stop searching for him. And when he thought that he was good to go, he ended up with the offer in the devil, in the top of the devil thing, and offered being a 4-year-old. He was just probably sitting there waiting for whoever maniac took him. And when he realized that somebody has seen the boy, grabbed them and they left. That could be a possibility. I also think the other theory, where the woman and her husband were driving and they saw the little boy. I mean, if y'all see, mind you, it's black and white. But if you see this little boy, if you would have been there on that day or would have seen him on the streets, you probably would have recognized him, because he has the most beautiful curly hair that I've ever seen in a boy. Like, he is just, I'm gonna show y'all, but y'all can search for him, because this is him. Trust me, if that would have been me, and I would have known that this little boy was missing, I would have been like, that's the boy that we've been hearing about. I would have done scream. But I'm like, hey, sir, ma'am, that's not your child. Give me the child, because that's not your child. I'm about to take this child to the cop, because that is not your child. I believe that theory. I believe that the woman who saw the little boy with the man, the stranger man, I feel like that theory, I believe that theory. I think he was mind you, that to me, the whole not having a car doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not from Denver, Colorado, so I don't know. At that time, I guess, was hiking something like, I know in the United States, hiking back then was like normal. I don't know about Denver. If you're from Denver, Colorado, let me know. But hiking, but at the same time, if you were stealing a child, why would you try to get in somebody's car? Like, everybody knew this news. By that time, the woman and her husband saw him. Everybody knew that there was a boy missing. So why would you try to get in somebody else's car with stolen child that you just stole, mind you? And still, to me, it does not make sense. Why are you walking with a child? Mind you, they had already put pictures of him in the newspaper. There was radio station talking about this little boy. There were news outlets talking about this little boy. His case was talked about. So why would you take that risk of being caught and walking with him at the same time? But I kind of, like I said, I do believe in that theory. That could be something that could have been him, and she probably didn't notice, because mind you, they were driving, so she didn't notice until the next day, but she swore that was him. Look at him. You cannot forget that little boy. He was so adorable. And and the hair and everything. So you just, there's some people that you see and you can't forget. Like, you just cannot forget. And I think that's the case with her. I think that I feel like it could have been done, more could have been done in the police station. I feel like they could have done more. I think that they should have had just searched the river one time, and not just, that should have not been their first. I mean, yeah, it should have been their first mind. Like, okay, he probably drowned, but if you didn't find nothing in the first few seconds that you started searching the river, then you should just have moved on. I feel like if they would have moved on and be like, okay, he didn't drown, this boy probably just got abducted, or he's somewhere else. He has to be somewhere else. I think the whole drowning theory, they kept it like in their mind. That was like the first, they ran with it for so long that they lost other clues that they could have had clues. So, or that I could have investigated. So I think that should have had not been like, that should have just not been something that y'all just got stuck in your head and y'all ran with it. Even the parents said he did not drown. If he would have drowned, we would have found something by now, but they didn't. And their parents figured that they probably did get, that he got abducted. I don't know if he has living relatives. I hope he does, and I know they're still probably searching, and I hope one day we do know something. I know it may not happen because the story's so long. I think this is like the oldest story I've talked about in my channel. But when I researched it, it was really interesting in me, and this is why I don't go camping. Yep, don't go camping at all. But guys, thank you so much. I hope y'all enjoy this video. Y'all give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and let me know what y'all think. Let me know your theories. Let me know what y'all think.